Hey, we're going to make some more progress with the Cafe Racer seat. We're going to reinforce it, build up some thickness here, and make our way toward cleaning this thing up and making it look, well, pretty. Welcome to Urban Monk TV. So last weekend I wasn't able to work on the Cafe Racer because I needed to change the rear tire on my everyday bike, the V-Strom, and then I also needed to do a valve or tappet clearance check, which I've done a video of way back, oh god, I don't know, it's over a year ago. I'll put a link to that down below if you're interested, but those of you who maybe have a V-Strom or really any motorcycle, especially one with overhead cams, it's helpful to see how that's done on a modern bike, and then on the older bikes it's a little different. But that was last weekend. I'm back to the Cafe Racer seat. With this seat I had put some body filler on the florist's foam, hoping to make it smooth and that I would get a good release. And I've mentioned this before on all the videos, or at least most of the videos where I'm doing this seat. I'll say it again here because I want to make sure that people understand that I have a long history wrenching on my own motorcycles. I have a history in automotive and worked at a service station, and I'm good with engines, I'm good with electronics, I'm learning my way around a welder, that kind of thing. But when it comes to fiberglass work and this custom seat, this is my first time going through this. So while a lot of what I'm doing in total on this build project is instructional and educational, also a lot of it is a journey that I hope to just document and that helps people. But very much so on this seat. This is a documentary of my journey through the first time of doing this, and just want to, leave you with that caveat that if you want to learn from an expert on how to do a fiberglass seat, you're in the wrong place. If you want to learn through my mistakes with me, well, then you might be in the right place. So I had put on the body filler and car wax as a release agent, but I probably should not have let that car wax dry. I should have gone with that first layer of the glass and resin while that wax was still wet, and I think I would have got a better release. So I ended up with a fiberglass frame or mold or whatever you want to call this. This is the beginnings of my seat. And what I've been doing is taking my grinder, did this off camera because I couldn't make noise early in the morning here, and put a flap disc on here, a very aggressive flap disc, and have just been going through here getting most of that body filler out of the inside. And what I intend to do is sand that down to where I'm dealing with a little body filler. It's okay, it'll bond with the resin just fine, I believe. Or we're on the way to another mistake we'll learn from. But I think people put fiberglass resin and body filler together in automotive projects all the time. So I'm going to sand this down, and we're going to add additional layers of fiberglass in here to get some rigidity and strength to this seat. Then another thing I want to do is get a good mate right here between the front portion of my seat and the back of my tank. And I want this to kind of lap right up over it and close this gap in here. So I need to cut away this material in here, and a cutting wheel, like a metal cutting wheel on the grinding wheel, works really good for that. This is a little bit more delicate, so I'm going to try something in my rotary tool or Dremel. Might be slower, but I think a little bit more controlled. Okay, just got to remove some from the corners here. So that's got to be cut. And there, getting there. Okay, I removed some more material there, and that's getting better. Once I reinforce all of this to make it strong, I'm going to end up adding more fiberglass and more resin material in this area, and I'm going to be back here cutting this and shaping this again. And ultimately, I think to get things really smooth and clean lines, I'll be back to using body filler and sanding and just filling in low spots, sanding down high spots, that kind of thing. But I just wanted to get it roughly mating here. So, you know, getting there. I can see I need to shave this side down a little bit to match that. I may just go ahead and cut that right now. Well, so now I feel like I cut that a little much. You know, I want to fill this gap in. So when I add the additional layers of fiberglass, I'm going to make sure that I just extend this maybe 3/4 of an inch to an inch and give myself some more material there. And as we work with this, I'll shape all of the, well, I'll shape the whole thing to look like clean lines and a good fit. It's a journey. I keep moving around here a lot, trying to keep the noise down from neighbors and family that are sleeping, but flap disc is a mess, but it works great. I gotta get myself cleaned up. Here, let's take a look at what I've done here. Oh, here I had to come back inside because some guy with a weed whacker is making more noise than me. But with the flap disc and a little bit of fine Dremel rotary tool work, I was able to remove most of, the absolute vast majority of that body filler from the inside. I did scrape through in a couple of areas. Let's see if I can... Yeah, there you go. You can see where there's some thin spots, but you know what? As long as I've got the basic shape here, I can fill all this in. So, onward. Let's clean this up, wash it out, and get it ready for another layer of fiberglass. At some point, I think I'll put together a little video on critical tools you need in your garage to do a cafe racer or custom build project. But just working on this fiberglass seat, I gotta say, a grinder, this 4.5 inch, whatever. You gotta cut metal or flap disc and remove material. This can make really quick work of something that otherwise would take a very long time. And then for the delicate stuff and getting into the nooks and crannies, a rotary tool, two must-haves, I think. And they're not expensive, honestly. This thing's not Harbor Freight, but kind of close. I don't think I paid more than $19.99 for this, maybe $29.99. It's holding up just fine. So, I don't know. So I'm just going to let this dry now, and that's the inside. I've got plenty of resin material to bond with, and the outside, it's still quite wet. This has gotten very flimsy, but I got the shape, and so as we add material now, it will get rigid. So while that's drying, let's work on the added fiberglass material. So if you'll recall, I have both this fiberglass cloth and this mat. And I don't know that it's really critical which one of these two you use in which place, but I think for just strength and reinforcement and building up, volume, I'm going to go with the mat. And it is very random in its pattern, so I think when you add resin to this, I think the strength you'll get from this is quite a lot, whereas this just forms kind of nicely. So I'm going to make a lot of little pieces of this, of random sizes. So this is what I've got. I've got some, randomly little sized pieces here, and I'm still going to leave a big sheet so that, I don't have it cut up all into little pieces, and I can come out here quickly and cut what I need as I go. I don't know. I mean, I need to have some kind of plan here, and since I don't know what I'm getting into, let me leave myself with a piece that can be anything in a pinch. But I'm going to leave my scissors right there, and I can get out here in a hurry while the resin is still soft and cut what I need. That's my plan. Okay, I've just done 4 ounces of resin this time. I've pre-cut some pieces. Just mixing the resin and the hardener together. And if this isn't enough, then I'll just come back and do another layer anyways. I expect to do, at least 2 sessions here, or 2 layers. And I've got a brush. I'm just going to start by putting a thin layer down. Again, I'm working against the clock here. So that initial spreading just helps me fill this in with resin. This may not be enough resin for this first application. I can see I'm going to need quite a bit more. Probably should have bought the big can. But that's okay. I'll spread what I can. I can always mix some more right now if I want. Okay, so sorry, once I get going there, I can't be concerned with the camera too much, and I just have to keep going. Oh, my daughter going by on her scooter. This family likes 2 wheels. So, what do we have? We got a bunch of random pieces of the fiberglass
I guess this is the mat, this stuff. Glued down with the resin, and then I poured the resin all over it and pushed it down all along the edges. So I'm going to let that cure because it was starting to harden on me, and I ran out. And we'll see how stiff this is when I'm finished with it. We're probably going to end up adding another layer, I would think, but we'll see. And I guess that's going to have to be it for today. So thanks for joining me. We're moving forward on a cafe racer seat. Fiberglass, resin, Bondo, first time experience with all of it. I hope you're learning something while I'm learning something. And if you like what I'm doing here, please give me the thumbs up and subscribe. And I will see you next week. Thank you for watching.